Welcome to Shift Happens, Embrace the Change. I'm Ashley, and this space is for people who are insightful, capable, and exhausted from holding it all together. Here we talk about emotional regulation, identity repair, and what it really looks like to heal after survival mode, without hustle, without pressure, and without abandoning yourself. If you've ever felt like healing has made you feel more emotional, more sensitive, or more unsure of who you are, you're in the right place. Let's take a breath together and get into today's episode. Before we go any further, I want you to pause for a moment. Notice where your body is making contact with whatever's supporting you right now: the chair, the floor, the car seat. Take one slow breath in your nose and a longer breath out through your mouth. Okay. You don't have to figure anything out during this episode. You're allowed to just listen. One of the most confusing parts of healing is that it doesn't always feel good at first. In fact, many people feel worse before they feel better. Ever heard? They feel more emotional, more sensitive, less certain, less productive, less sure of themselves. And that leads to a scary thought. Was I actually better before? Am I getting worse? Why do I feel like I'm losing myself? This is the part of healing that almost no one talks about. Healing often feels like you're losing yourself before you even find yourself. And here is why. When you live in survival mode for a long time, your nervous system builds a version of you that is designed to function under pressure. It's that simple. That version of you knows how to push through, knows how to stay strong, knows how to keep going, knows how to not need too much, and knows how to handle everything. That version of you is incredibly capable, and it deserves deep respect. But it's also built around protection, not authenticity. When healing begins, your nervous system slowly starts loosening those protective patterns. And that can feel like something important is disappearing, because in a way it is. The version of you that ran on adrenaline, urgency, and pressure begins to soften. And when that happens, many people feel like they're becoming less capable, less strong, less motivated, even less certain. But what's actually happening is this: your nervous system is no longer keeping you in survival mode. Okay, let's pause here for a moment. If you're able, place your hand on your chest or your stomach. Take a slow breath in and a long breath out. If this feels emotional or heavy, that makes sense. This part of healing is tender. When survival mode loosens, you often experience what feels like a loss of identity, because the survival version of you was familiar. It was predictable. It was reliable. You knew how to be that person, even if it was exhausting. Healing introduces uncertainty. You may notice things like you cry more easily. You feel overwhelmed by things you used to handle. You don't push yourself the way you used to. You need more rest. You question things you once felt sure about. And your inner critic may get loud during this season. It may say, "You're getting weaker. You're becoming lazy. You used to be stronger than this." But here's the truth. You're not becoming weaker. You're becoming less armored. And armor is heavy. When the armor starts to come off, you don't immediately feel powerful. You feel exposed. This is one of the most important reframes in healing. Exposure is not regression. Sensitivity is not failure. Slowing down, not losing yourself. It's your nervous system learning that it no longer has to protect you the same way. There's often a period in healing where you are no longer the survival version of yourself, but you haven't fully met the regulated version of yourself yet. This is the in-between season. And the in-between season can feel incredibly uncomfortable because humans crave certainty. We like knowing who we are, how we function, and what to expect from ourselves. Healing disrupts that certainty. It asks you to sit in the space between who you were and who you're becoming. And that space can feel like emptiness. But it's not emptiness. It's space. Space where a new version of you can emerge without pressure. Okay, let's pause again. Notice your breath. Notice your shoulders. Notice your jaw. If there's tension, see if you can soften it just a little. You don't need to rush this process. Here's something important to understand. Your nervous system cannot build a new identity while it still feels unsafe. Safety must come first. Not clarity, not confidence, not certainty. Safety. When safety increases, curiosity returns. When curiosity returns, identity begins to expand. This is why healing often feels like a slow unfolding instead of a dramatic transformation. It's gentle, it's gradual, and sometimes it's uncomfortable. If you're in a season where you feel less certain, less driven, or more emotional than you used to, I want you to consider this possibility. You may not be losing yourself. You may be meeting yourself without survival mode running the show. Instead of asking who I am, try asking what feels safe to explore. That question creates room for emergence instead of pressure. If this episode resonates and you feel like you're in that in-between season, not who you used to be, not sure who you're becoming, you don't have to navigate that alone. I support identity repair and nervous system regulation through one-on-one coaching, and I offer workshops designed to support healing in a grounded, compassionate way. You can explore those options in the show notes or at www.mindshiftwithashley.com if and when you feel ready.